Good morning and welcome to today's lecture on an introduction to qualitative research. Qualitative research is, as you can see on the screen there, the study of a phenomenon or some sort of research topic in its context. And that emphasis on context is very important. So underneath that first line you have several different characteristics or traits that we typically find in qualitative research. It is, by its nature, exploratory. The research questions that we ask tend to be really how or what. They may look at why, but not so much why in terms of impact, but rather why in terms of perceptions of individuals. It typically occurs specifically in a natural setting, as you see there on that third dash underneath qualitative research, that first point there. Miles and Guberman call this local groundedness, in that qualitative research places priority on getting into the setting in which it is being done to understand that context and that setting. It's not like quantitative research, which is about generalizability, but instead it's really about this kind of groundedness and contextual understanding. And that fourth bullet point is an important one to note here, because researchers, when they do qualitative research well, are going to spend extensive and intensive time collecting and analyzing data. You cannot do a drive-by qual, will be one of the going by lanes that I'll say from this. You have to really slow it down to do it right. So with this said, qualitative research, its primary aim really is to help inform practice by providing a thick description of things that are occurring. So processes that happen in a situation, as well as perceptions that people have about a specific topic, and bounding those within a particular context. And so, again, this groundedness comes through strongly when we look at what qualitative research is. On this next slide, we'll elaborate a little bit more on some of these characteristics of qualitative research, and there's a chart which you can kind of pause and look at to get a glimpse of what are the features that are ongoing in qualitative research. I'll let you just pause the video and read through that there, and then I'll make a few comments. Alright, so what I'm going to highlight here are things that I did not speak of just a moment ago, but also things that distinguish qualitative research from quantitative research. That first bullet of inductive analysis is, in effect, opposite of deductive, or opposite of quantitative. Quantitative research is built around deductive analysis. Qualitative research uses inductive analysis. That is, theories and answers are derived from the data. You're not testing theories, but rather you're generating them. This third bullet point, the humanness of research. In quantitative, so in statistical research, it is extremely important that you maintain full objectivity. Qualitative research affirms that the researcher is part of the process, and as such, it's important that the humanness be laid bare. You can lay out what you believe about things. In fact, there's a specific word for that we'll look at called reflexivity. You should do those sorts of things to present what you're thinking as well as what you see in the actual data, so that way people can look and assess the quality of your work in the context of you as the researcher, because you are the primary instrument of analysis. That fourth bullet point is also an important distinction between quantitative and qualitative, remember, in statistics or in quantitative research, it's really the dream scenario is a random sample, because you want a broad random group of people from a larger population so you can generalize about it. That is not true for qualitative research. In qualitative research, it is the opposite. You want purposeful samples. So if you're looking at a specific phenomenon, what you want are only people who have experienced that phenomenon, and that's your sample. So it's purposeful. And then that last bullet point is highlighting, because again I'm focusing on distinctions here. The design is interactive and flexible in qualitative research. Again, that is different than in quantitative research, where it's much more rigid and tight. So some of these characteristics make for qualitative research to be a little more fluid and a little more uncomfortable for novices. We'll try to walk you through the process of gaining some comfort in that. With that said, we've kind of given our survey of some basic broad background of qualitative research. Now let's move over to research paradigms and traditions. So at the very heart of what we do in all research, but especially in qualitative research, are a variety of assumptions that we have about what we're going to do. And so at the bottom, that circle in the middle there, that purple one, philosophies of science, these underscore some philosophical bases that guide what the decisions we make, the questions we ask, and so forth. Outside of that circle, we have these research paradigms, which are largely bound and derived from information from that purple circle. But they then operate around the questions of how do we frame our research and what is our role as researcher. And then the largest circle there, which is I guess a tealish color, a darker teal, governs these research traditions. And so these three things are bound to one another. And all of them are a way of thinking about things that are at the inner core of our beliefs about the world, our beliefs about research, and how we're going to go about engaging in the process of research. So let's look at some of these in a little more detail. First off, in philosophies of science, there were these 5 words. This is the more philosophical part, but ontology basically refers to what is real. Is reality real? And an ontological position that says that all of reality is just a social construct is very different from an ontological position that says the world around me is real and I can come to know it as best I can. So these are things, but largely they're things we cannot prove. If you've seen the movie The Matrix, you can't really prove whether the Matrix is real. It is something you just take on assumption. So these ontological positions are important, but they're also assumptions. Epistemology refers to how we come to know, and so basically that's what guides it. So how do we come to know these sorts of things? Is it through induction, deduction, both? Those will guide a lot of the questions that we ask, as well as how we will frame research, what types of data we'll choose to collect, how we'll try to measure it or not measure it, depending upon what process we use. Axiology refers to kind of the values embedded in research. And so again, you can see some sub-points to think about there, but should values play a role in research? Should we try to be objective? Is that a value in and of itself? A variety of things that we think about, or perhaps we don't think about, but that we should when we engage in research. The other two that I just mentioned, there was this notion of rhetoric and methodology. And so rhetoric just means basically how we're presenting those findings. Should the researcher voice or participant's voice be the primary feature? Should we present things as independently and objectively as humanly possible, or should we try to make it more story format? Methodology revolves the actual process of inquiry, and so obviously the two fields that we're looking at in this program, you've got quantitative and statistics. We're looking at that quantitative approach, and in this class we're looking at qualitative research. But these are two different broad categories that catch a lot of different methods through which we can engage in research. So let's take a pause. Go ahead and pause the video and try to think about these different types of elements or these philosophies of science. Just pause the video real quick and see if you can jot down some notes with regards to each of these 5 philosophies of science. I'm going to move to the next video, so if you didn't pause now. Alright, so to wrap things up, there's one last thing. We'll have you do one more reflection. Again, there'll be a good number of these reflections I'm going to encourage you to do in the lectures, because part of being a qualitative researcher is cultivating a sense of reflexivity, which is a self-awareness of your own views around you and their influences on you as a researcher. So let's pause real quick here, and again, look at that journal reflection listed on the left-hand side of the screen and jot down your thoughts about that, as well as maybe any notes or highlights or questions that you have from this video before we wrap up.